Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Madison Charlton from MLC Tech. Now, over the past recent weeks, the open world monster hunting game, that being Palworld, has taken the world by storm, having sold well over 6 million copies in just 4 days alone, and it is currently topping the Steam charts for most concurrent players of all time. But since this game has launched, it has been met with a whole host of issues and controversies that the community has tried to raise around this game, and one of it being its clear inspirations from a little certain Nintendo game, that being Pokemon, and it is very clear that a lot of inspiration has been taken from each of these character designs. But with all of this discussion being raised around this topic, the Pokemon Company has officially responded to all of the issues regarding Palworld. So sit back and relax as we dive into the Pokemon Company's official response to Palworld. So in an official statement that the Pokemon Company released on their official corporate website, they issued a response to inquiries regarding other companies' games. I wonder who they could be talking about in this instant, with an official statement saying, "We have received many inquiries regarding another company's game released in January 2024. I still wonder who they could be talking about. "We have not granted any permission for the use of Pokemon intellectual property or any assets in that game." They then continue to say, "We intend to investigate and take appropriate measures to address any acts that infringe on intellectual property rights related to the Pokemon. We will continue to cherish and nurture each and every Pokemon and its world and work to bring the world together through Pokemon in the future." The one thing I would love to say on behalf of the entire community, if they really want to work to bring the world together through Pokemon, I strongly suggest they give Game Freak a strong wake-up call as to the current state of Pokemon games out there, as quite frankly, the latest iterations have been, well, they've not innovated at all, they've been outdated, and quite frankly, I would say Game Freak are just abusing the Pokemon IP to just make rehashes of the same Pokemon game year in, year out, and quite frankly, I think the launch of Palworld has been a massive wake-up call to the Pokemon Company and Game Freak as well. Now, it's very clear to see that the launch of Palworld has rattled the Pokemon Company and Nintendo, as historically, as they have quite the reputation of being quite strong with how it's defended its intellectual property in the past with all of its lawsuits that it's known to launch, and how easily they've taken action against other companies in the past. So it's quite interesting how timid of a response they gave regarding Palworld, as quite clearly they're rattled and sort of annoyed by how Palworld is coming out and taking the concept that Pokemon pioneered and doing something new and unique actually with this concept. And the clear indication by the timid response shows that they're rattled by this game, but at the same time, they don't really have much of a leg to stand on when it comes to further legal action to try and protect or pursue any of their intellectual property. As in the past with Nintendo, and they don't really come out issuing statements. The only thing they're known for is actually just going out and doing. They don't really issue statements saying, "Oh, we're investigating this." It's, "No, this has been slapped down with a DCMA takedown or a lawsuit." They don't really come out and say, "Oh, we're looking into this," or potential assets, blah, blah, blah. They don't really beat around the bush. They are a company in the past who is usually direct on the action that they take. They don't issue statements and beat around the bush but before they act upon anything. So while an argument could be made that Palworld is inspired by the concept of Pokemon, and that is being able to hunt and capture monsters and fight with them and use them in certain different ways, the game itself is more than different enough to be able to keep them in the clear legally. Unless you are the mod developer who actually did create Pokemon mods for this game. Only a few days ago, Nintendo did actually shut down that mod, which of course that would be a clear violation of intellectual property. But the base game of Palworld itself does deviate more than enough from Pokemon to avoid any legal trouble. And I think it's really good the direction Palworld has actually gone in, taking concepts and ideas that Pokemon did make popular in the whole concept of trading monsters and capturing them and going to fights with them. But the fact that they've taken this concept and turned it into and blended it in with sort of like an approach of like an Ark Survival Evolved, where it's a big open world survival based game. It's not like they've directly ripped off Pokemon. They're actually taking the concept and actually evolving it and pioneering this concept into different approaches. I think it's really good to see. And I think this should be allowed in the game industry of taking inspiration from other titles and evolving on the concept and gameplay mechanics to blend things together and to straight up make new concepts and mechanics based on what's come in the past. I don't understand the mindset that a lot of people have on having to preserve what has come before and quite frankly be content with the same content year on year out from other developers out there. I think being able to take concepts and evolve them is what is good for the gaming industry, and to sit there and be so protective that you're so closed off to any new type of concept and game idea out there, you're closing yourself off from having new experiences, and quite frankly you're closing yourself off from having new fun. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comments down below. What do you think of the statement that the Pokemon Company issued and their approach that they're taking in terms of how they're handling the whole issue with Palworld? And do you think they will take any action, or do you think this is just a bit of a statement to vent their frustration on how Palworld and coming out and doing something new and unique with the original concept of Pokemon? And what do you think of Palworld as a game as a whole? Do you think it's too similar to Pokemon, or do you like how they've taken the original approach of monsters and Pokemon and to forge it into an entirely new concept? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, I have been Madison Charlton from MLZ Tech. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it in any way, shape or form, make sure to give this video a like and maybe subscribe for more content like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye for now.